is 5:02 in the morning and today I am heading up to the Blue Mountains and we're gonna have a really fun time. We have a bus that's arriving in 45 minutes, which is not the tour bus, it is a public transport bus, and there are no ferries running at this time because we're staying in Manly, so instead of just hopping across the bay, we have to take two buses around the bay and then hop on the tour bus at 6:55. So that's cool, we're awake, got myself some coffee. Now I'm gonna make some delicious bagels for lunch because I don't want to spend money on lunch, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Got a can of tuna which I need in my room and I don't want to go back in because that's waking everyone up again. I am so sorry everybody, but I'm gonna go get my can of tuna. But also one of the girls in my room was so cute and she got me a cookie because she heard that I wasn't gonna be like in time for the breakfast we have, and I have some oats and stuff that I'm making, but I just thought that was really sweet too. Got the tuna, and then I also realized I completely left my runners in the room too, so I would have needed to go back in to get my shoes. So whatever, we're here, we made it. Let's make some sandwiches. Okay, so long story short, we couldn't take the normal ferry from Manly to Sydney and then just find our bus or take a train or something like that. So we had to take two buses to get all the way around the bay, which didn't take that long and it was actually really cool. We saw a double-decker bus and we got to ride in it. It was crazy. Me and Tegan were both freaking out. Going across the harbour bridge. But eventually we did make it to the bus stop. So we got on our two buses and then made it to this place, Pier 1. The harbour bridge is like right there, which is pretty cool actually. And then there was a bus that pulled up, like a big coach bus that pulled up 5 minutes early. And so we ran after it and then it drove off and we were like, oh, well, did we just miss our bus? And so I gave the company a call and they're like, no, that wasn't us or something like that. So fingers crossed we haven't missed our bus. Our tour guide's name was a guy named Matthew. He was super Aussie, super cool. He totally knew what he was doing. He ran his own business. I might end up linking it in the description. The tour we went with wasn't his own business, but he does four-wheel drive tours in like the desert and stuff like that. So if you're interested, I'll put his description down below if I can remember it, and then go check it out because it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's much better. I know it's early, and for some of you it was a very early start.
First stop was Sydney Zoo, which is not Taronga Zoo as I found out. It's like a sister zoo. And it's pretty new, which is cool. So we saw crocodiles and koalas and kangaroos and some other animals, and Tiga was super excited. She got a photo with a koala because she's obviously never seen Australian animals before, so we had a fun time checking all of that out. Oh, hi! Oh my goodness!
Okay. No.
So we are here at Sydney Zoo, which is a newer zoo that they've built to go alongside Taronga Zoo. It's ways out of the city and we are in the Australian section, so there are literal kangaroos and wallabies hopping around beside me. Tegan's having a blast.
Yeah.
We got to see koalas and it's going great. That is a lace monitor. He's just chilling. And then we got back on the bus. To be honest, I cannot remember exactly how long it was. It was something like 45 minutes, maybe an hour and 10. I think an hour and 10 is sounding more right in my brain. But we got to wind up through the mountains and it was really gorgeous. like I said, Matthew knew so much about the bush, and every time he'd see something new and interesting, he'd like stop the group and talk about it. And for my nerdy biologist brain, it was fascinating. This was an old drinking well of sorts for the coal miners in this area.
It was built just as a water source, so it was capturing the natural water coming down the hill, and people could get a cold drink out of it. So they stopped drinking out of that probably 40 or 50 years ago, and I've seen people washing their babies in that, so there's no way I'd be drinking it now. But that's what it was. It was put in as a drinking source, coming in from the rivers, and then 200 million years ago.
So we're here in the Blue Mountains, which is very cool. It is actually a World Heritage Site. It was made one in 2000, same time as the Sydney Olympics was going on. And we just got to see Wentworth Falls, which is named after William Wentworth, who was one of the 3 guys who first managed to cross the Blue Mountains in 1813. And unlike other people before them who refused help from the indigenous people of the region, they got help from the Aboriginals, and so that helped them end up crossing the mountains and getting the title to the first people to ever make it across. Hi vlog, we're checking in, we're having lunch. That's kangaroo right there.
Stereotype tourist.
I wonder if it'll taste any different than the beef pie. Like if it will be like noticeably different.
I'll tell you and find out when I get to the meat.
I was gonna say after you finish the pastry. And then we went to something called the Scenic Valley, which the valley itself is a rainforest environment. It is fascinating. It was quite expensive to get down there. I think it was an extra $50 on top of the whole trip, but it was pretty good. For me, it was too touristy. You can hike down, it's about 990 stairs to get down there, but it was still really cool. We got to take a cable car across with about 80 other people, which was wild. Saw the 3 sisters, which to be honest I was expecting them to be bigger. They were a little underwhelming, but I've seen them and it's cool, and I want to go back and hike around the whole area. Wowee.
Go about here and look up, you'll see where this rock came from. 300 metres into the rainforest. And this area was discovered due to the holes.
To ride the world's steepest railway, which was the old coal railway that they used to ship up and down the valley, which I just think is crazy, and it was very steep. It almost felt like going on a roller coaster. Wow. So that was also really fun. Guys, wow, today has been a jam-packed full day. We went on so many walks and saw so many beautiful views. We went to the Sydney Zoo and then we had an hour-long ferry ride to get back to Circular Quay, and now we're on the 20, 25, 30-ish minute ferry ride back to Manly, and then our day is done. So I was up at 4:45. We're probably gonna get back around, I don't know, 7:45. That's not a bad day. Anyway, it was amazing. If anyone has the chance, definitely do a tour. Go check out the Blue Mountains. You can definitely do it without the tour. It was quite touristy, which I'm not always a fan of, but it was fun. I think now I have more confidence to go back and either bring a group of friends, or I just know more places, so it did its job. It was really fun. The price of the tour itself was $100. The zoo was an extra $35, and then the scenic world section was $50 on top of that. The ferry was paid for by our guide, which was very kind of him. Tegan was so kind. I wasn't going to do the scenic world because it was too expensive and I'd spend a lot of money, and she shouted me for it, which was so incredible. So I ended up paying $35 and I bought her lunch on top of my $100, so roughly $150 sort of per person. It could go up to, you know, $90 a person or plus your additional, so $190, $180 a person. If you think that's worth it, great. It was a really fun day, but once again, those sorts of tours are quite expensive and there are definitely more budget options to do, but it was a really good experience and we had lots of fun, made lots of new friends, chatting to people, so it was a good time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope your day goes really well. Bye! Hi guys, it is somewhat editing, somewhat filming me jumping in. I'm at Sydney Airport right now, so if there's background noise, just ignore it. The next part is a story that Matthew told us about the three sisters, so if you're sick of the video, feel free to click off. It is like 4 minutes long. I found it quite interesting and I didn't really want to delete it from the video, so I'm going to keep it in there, and if you want to take a listen to it. If not, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!
Everyone's probably had enough of hear me talk. I know I have. So we're on our way back. We're going to pop you on a boat so you can enjoy a harbour cruise back down under the harbour bridge and Opera House, which is a spectacular way to finish. And it also means I don't have to drive all the way into the city and I get home earlier. So it's fairly well planned. So, but a few people ask me why they called the three sisters today. Can you hear me up the back? Yeah? So we all know during the Jurassic period we had volcanic action that blew up the bottom of the inland sea and created the mountains and gorges that we see today. But there's a better story from the dream time of the Aboriginals, and the three sisters were named after three daughters. So it links back to the lyrebird. If you think about the lyrebird who spends his life mimicking other animals and looking for a mate in the rainforest. So the story goes that the Aboriginal girls, there was Wimla, Menai and Gunadu, three Aboriginal sisters, and their father Taiwan was an Aboriginal witch doctor. So the three sisters set out one day with their father. He was going out hunting. So the three sisters headed out with their father, and because they were women, they weren't allowed to join in on the hunt. So Wimla, Menai and Gunadu were asked to sit on a rock ledge and wait for their father Taiwan to come back. Well, Menai was a mischievous girl and she started throwing rocks at caterpillars, and she saw a centipede. She threw a rock at a centipede and it missed, and the rock tumbled down into the valley below and woke the bunyip. And the bunyip was a mystical creature to the indigenous people. It was a ferocious beast that lived down in the valley. So the bunyip was awakened. Taiwan had started off on his trek looking for animals to hunt, and he saw that his daughters were in grave danger from the bunyip. So he used his magic kangaroo bone stick and he turned the three sisters into stone so that they'd be safe. The bunyip saw this and he was enraged, so he turned on Taiwan and chased Taiwan. Taiwan turned himself into a lyrebird and dropped the stick, and he escaped. And the legend goes now that Taiwan and lyrebirds are continually scratching in the forest, and it's Taiwan
as in his lyrebird form, looking for his magic stick in the hope that he can turn himself back into human form and obviously rescue his daughters. So again, I like that story better than volcanoes and geology.